Just the other day, I received an email from a friend of mine, and she said to me, I'm doing an article, and I'd like to know, what would you tell the you of 10 years ago? Now, I'm a writer, and I'm a teacher. So the combination of the two is fantastic, and I pulled out a pen, and I sat down, and I expected to write myself this whole long story, Dear Jodene. And all I could do was think about telling myself one thing. I would say, Dear Jodene, you are that powerful, but you're not that powerful. I started delving into self-help and all the spiritual journeys and figuring out manifestation and how to visualize when I was about 13 years old. That's when it started. While all my friends were out playing, there I was reading books called The Faraway Tree. If you don't know what they're about, try and find them. Go to secondhand books. Those secondhand books are very precious. And what happened with those books is when you got to page 125, it would say, if you want Jack to go down this road, turn to page 128. If you want Jack to go down this path, turn to page 241. And I would take a look at every different opportunity and every different path that the story would take you on, because I was so curious about what different choices would make. So that's when my journey started. And then I started to understand things like, I can, or maybe I can, create my reality. And I knew two things. I wanted to be a teacher. And I was obsessed with Madonna, so I wanted to look like Madonna. Now, not the spandex Madonna. If you're really young, go and have a look and see what who's that girl Madonna used to look like. That's what I wanted to be. So I went through the journeys, and I really started to figure out what it meant to manifest and to create. I got some of the stuff right. I am the teacher that I want to be, and everything that I do, I teach. But I got some things very wrong, because I don't exactly look like Madonna. And what it taught me was this journey of manifesting and creating and becoming who you want to become is a lot more difficult than any self-help book can teach you. It's not as easy as it sounds. By the time you get to read that self-help book, that money book, that relationship book, the person who's written it has forgotten what it was like to be in that desperate state of not knowing whether they really could do it. And that never managed to translate into a book, into any kind of self-help. Even in my Project Me journey, as much as I try and show the anguish and the pain and the frustration, you don't quite get it until you live it. So what I chose to do in 2004 was embark on really understanding how come I was nowhere near to where I was supposed to be. I was trying to take over my mother's business, which I did not want to take over. I was 25 kilos bigger than this. I was desperately unhappy, and I needed something to change. So I embarked on the journey of studying metaphysics. I studied everything, tarot, numerology. I'm born Jewish, I can say the rosary, I can do everything. And I met an incredible teacher. And when I started to do the work with her, I started to understand what it meant to really tell yourself the truth, really be brave, and really be conscious. And as that happened, on the 1st of August, 2004, my mother phoned me and she said to me, our house is burning down. The house that had my business in it. The business that I didn't kind of really want. Still, it is the most daunting, frightening experience to watch your home burn down. So after trying to fight a fireman off, because I thought that I could at least get my appointment book through the blaze to cancel my appointments for the next day, I phoned my teacher. She came dashing over. She gave me the warmest hug that you could give. And then she stood me in front of the fire. And she said to me, you have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to wail and cry, throw your hands up in the air and say, why me, universe? Why me, Lord? And then you will stand here and you will tell me why this fire is the best thing that has ever happened to you. You will tell me why you are grateful for this fire. That's how my Project Me journey started. That's how it all began. Standing there, and the months that followed afterwards, realizing that everything happens for a reason. And that the more conscious you become, there is a hope and a wish that life will become easier at the same time. And that's not what it's about. So I started to develop this whole concept of what I was teaching and trying to share with people. And I came up with the basics of 5 steps that you would need to take. I didn't realize in the beginning why it was steps, but once my business that I really wanted to be in, the business that I'm in now, with an incredible business partner, we're doing what we love. Once we started to put that together, we realized that human beings like steps. So that's the only reason why there's 5 steps. So we developed the 5 steps together, tweaked it, and came up with this incredible foundation of changing anything and manifesting anything. The reason why it's so important is because you've all read a self-help book of some type. The self-help book starts at the point where it asks you, what do you want? And you go, I want a Ferrari. And then the self-help book goes, right, stick a picture of the Ferrari up, look at it every day, don't stop looking at it. One day it will be there. How it really works is, first of all, you have to be absolutely conscious of where you are right now, today. Then, you have to tell yourself the absolute truth. This is where I am. This is the job that I don't want to be in. This is the family situation I don't want to be in. This is the country I don't want to be in. All those things. Then you have to make it only about you. This is usually the step that I forget in talks, so I'm so happy that I remembered it. And the reason why I forget it is because it's the hardest thing for me to deal with. To make it only about you. So to tell yourself the truth and know that you are in this situation in your life because you put yourself there. Even if it's because you weren't brave enough or you didn't think you had enough support, usually it's because you didn't realize that you were powerful enough to be in any other situation, or you weren't worthy enough, or you didn't love yourself enough. But once you get yourself to that point, you have to do one thing each day that scares you. Something small, something little. If you're afraid to go into business meetings, first take yourself out for a cup of coffee. Just to adjust to being out there. If you are uncomfortable with traveling distances, go somewhere a little bit out of your space so that you can slowly learn to do it. And once you do that little bit of bravery every single day, the final step is to make sure that you live within your integrity and you have fun. In my blog, I've told stories about turning down huge opportunities because I knew that I wouldn't have fun. One of the biggest things, I talk to a lot of people, I'm passionate about entrepreneurs, I'm passionate about helping entrepreneurs. And if I can give a message to entrepreneurs, I would say the money will come if you say no to a certain amount of money that you know you would be earning out of integrity. It takes the hugest amount of faith, trust me. It takes the most ridiculous amount of faith. But if you can do that, and you can start to see that being brave, living within integrity and making sure that you'll have fun, can help you manifest anything and create anything. You give yourself a great gift. So we were at this incredible point. I had done, if I tell you I have done spiritual work and I have done courses, I have gone through every religion that was out there, I visualize, I meditate, I dance under the moonlight, I do all that stuff. I live consciously. My business partner lives consciously. We live within integrity. I always tell the truth. I have wounded people from the truth. I have never stolen. Okay, once a chappie, about 7. We were ready. Our bags were packed. We were ready to embark on this entrepreneurial journey. We had capital in the bank. And I'm now going to tell you the most arrogant, humbling story of my life. Here we are, doing exactly what we love. Passionate about everything that we do. Well connected. Money in the bank. People that we can turn to who can support us and give us anything. In our own right, both doing our meditation, our visualization, conscious, courageous, everything. We imagined going to 10 business meetings, and if 3 of those clients took us, we'd be fine. We went to 10 business meetings. We went to 20 business meetings. People told us how fabulous we were. I would get direct messages from people on Twitter going, wow, you must be doing so great. We weren't. We got to the point where the capital ran dry, where we turned to parents and anyone else who could possibly help us. And we got together every single Tuesday. We got together, we would sit on a couch facing each other, and we would go, why? If we are so spiritual, if we are so wise, if we are so in touch, in tune with ourselves, but mostly if we are doing what we love, why? Why is this happening? And it was this constant battle the whole time, trying to figure out why. Until we got to the point where we would have to cancel meetings because we didn't have the petrol money to get there. And then we got to another point where the people around us who have always loved us unconditionally were beginning to say, maybe, just maybe, passion's not enough. Just maybe, living your truth is not enough. And we got together, and we were going, maybe it's not enough either. There's a point in time that each one of us get to. It cannot be described by anyone. It is not written in any self-help book. It is not in my blog. It is not from any of the greatest speakers in the world. I cannot describe it. You get to a point where you realize, if there is anything else that I do with my life, I will be so out of integrity. And something shifts and something changes. Now, it's not like going home and faking that. So you can't have a mini breakdown and throw your hands in the air and go, right, this is going to be the point. It doesn't work that way. Trust me, we tried that over and over again. There is a point that cannot be described. You do not know when it will happen. We did not know when it would happen. And it happened. We got together again, and we both had the same message. There is nothing else that I could possibly do on earth but live my purpose to teach, to share the knowledge that I have, and the teaching goes across everything, from the social media to the blogging to everything. That was in the December. In the very December that we couldn't buy each other Christmas gifts, that we couldn't treat our families to anything, that we basically couldn't do Christmas, that we did New Year, it was pathetic. But we did an exercise of gratitude, that we were still grateful for who we were and the potential that we knew that we had. And by January, we both had landed 2 incredible pieces of work that have now just continued to flow, and everything now flows beautifully. It really does. At that point, the message started to change, and now we wanted to tell people, what we had done and how we had achieved all of this. Because that's what people want to know. Every single one of us, why do we read a self-help book? We read a self-help book actually because we want to find out what that person did to get it right so that it's easier for us. Yes? That's when I got to the point and I was going, right, what is the message that I can actually tell people? This is the message. You are that powerful, but you're not that powerful. Don't ever try and do anything where you forget that it is so important to learn life's lessons. You are that powerful because you can achieve and manifest anything that you want to in your life. But you are not that powerful that you can take away anything that life is going to throw at you to give you the lessons and the tools that you need to get you to where you're going. And that all depends on choice. It depends on the choice. If you want to wake up every morning and you want to go, why me, universe? Or you want to wake up every morning and you want to say, why, thank you, universe. Thank you.